guys, thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Combiner Wars Deluxe Class Streetwise. A heavily retooled and repainted version of the Stunticon Dead End, Streetwise is the cop car for the Protectobots. For the packaging, you have this nice open clamshell that allows you to see the full figure within, and then the background card here is actually made up of his comic book with the exclusive Hasbro cover from IDW. You got Transformers Generations along the side. This side here shows that he combines the form Defensor, and then you got some artistic drawings here of Defensors number 505, but it really doesn't matter because, like I said in that previous video, all wave 3 is made up of the Protectobots, and as you can see, you got the 5 figures right there, and then the combined form of Defensor. Then over here it says fully capable of wiping out any target. Streetwise would rather track them down and let justice take its course. Of course, that justice starts with heavy damage to a few of his enemy's key systems. They can't do any harm if they can't function. And then you have his robot mode as well as his vehicle mode, and then him transforming in 9 different steps. And just like with all the Combiner War figures so far, they really do have a true Scramble City feel, and Streetwise can be an arm or a leg. Now for me, this is actually correct. On my G1 Defensor, in the way that I remember it and like it from the cartoon, Streetwise was his left leg, so that's perfect for me. So I'm really happy with that. But for the packaging, that's about it for him. So without further ado, let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Streetwise opened up and out of his packaging. And I am really very impressed with what they did with this figure. This guy is not only a repaint, but a massively heavy retool of Dead End. Obviously from the Stunticons. This is a really wickedly cool looking guy. They really did a great job. Now, for his accessories, as always with the Combiner War figures, he does come with a foot that can be both a foot or hand. I guess you could technically use it as a weapon as well. You can plug it in there. You can see that he kind of looks like, or he has like cannons on the top here, so you could possibly do that. It also comes with a really cool silver painted rifle looking thing. It's a like triple barrel rifle, which I really dig that. That's some really nice paint on there. I like that. But for comparison, here is Dead End, and you're seeing obviously the color is very different, but almost every panel on here externally has been completely redone. The only thing that I noticed that's the same are the tires. Obviously, though, these are painted, whereas these are just black, but everything on here, you look at the side panel here, this is molded differently from this. You look at the side right here, this is molded. You can see the panel lines here that this doesn't have. This is all kind of set inward actually, and you can see that whole side is different. You got a whole different window here than what's on Streetwise. The front section here, which also now has actually his side view mirrors are different. I mean, everything on here, the front you can see is very different. The top section here is different. This is all different. You got the light bar actually molded on there. I mean, it's really amazing. Now, when you come down and look at some of the robot parts, that might be a little bit more similar in some areas, but really amazing how they were able to take this basic engineering and put it in this figure with a whole new shell. It really comes across very nicely. Now, obviously, that's the comparison to the similar body style, but here is Streetwise from the original G1. And one thing that I am noticing here is that unlike the other Protectobots here for the Combiner Wars, he's more of an off-white, and that's very true here with the original toy as well. They actually kept that very similar on the new guy as well, and I appreciate that. It does kind of look weird when you combine it because all the other ones have a very kind of bright white to it, whereas this is more of a cream color, so it kind of stands out in that respect. But I do like that it homages the original color. That's something that's been carried over with a lot of these Combiner War figures, and they're doing it here as well. And I really do appreciate that. But you got a real nice police logo right there. You got the Autobot symbol, police here on the side. You know, that's fairly accurate how a police vehicle would look. I really like the gunmetal. I guess that's gunmetal gray. It's the same color here as the gun, but you got that here in the front. And I even like how they updated the headlights here. They're really more futuristic looking right on there. I really love what they did with this. It's so amazing. I mean, even the back is completely different. That's so very cool. But now for me, Streetwise has always been a leg, specifically speaking, the left leg. So to go into that mode, basically all you do is you take this, you put that there, you take this section here, you're going to fold this down, kind of get this out of the way, bring that down, kind of keep that head tucked underneath there. You don't want to have that hanging out there. So just kind of angle that down, whatever you want to do. Bring this section out, and here you have his leg mode. You can position this really kind of however you want. Just kind of fiddle with this some. I mean, it's your personal preference, honestly. But for the leg comparisons, here's the G1 version in its leg form. So you can see that obviously the post-scramble city thing can happen because he can also be a leg as well as an arm. So it's your personal preference. But size-wise, that's what you're looking at. Obviously, the new Combiner War guy is going to be much bigger. And obviously, here in the leg mode, all you have to do to attach him, just bring it on here and get that little section to slot right inside there, just like so. And this, I think, looks pretty good. Now, I didn't like Rook really much as a leg, and mostly it's because I didn't like the fact that this section right here was like way far down like that. If you leave it down like that, I don't think it looks very good. If you angle this up and kind of fill in that a little bit, I think that looks a lot better. And the problem with Rook is you can't really do that with this piece. So I really do like that. It's definitely an improvement, I think. And for me, like I said, Streetwise was his left leg in obviously the G1 cartoon as well as the toy, and that's how I kept it. So this works fairly nice for me. So I'm really happy. So getting this out, that's what you have for his leg mode. Now, actually, with this guy, the transformation is the exact same, so I'm just I'm going to do it here for you, but I'm going to gloss over it. It's not all that spectacular of a transformation since we've seen it before, but you do want to rotate this all the way around. I'm just kind of going quickly through it. But yeah, the transformation is exactly the same. Nothing really changes, despite the fact that he's got different panels everywhere. It is really quite cool how they were able to do that. This is, get down there. Come on. Get that forward. Why are you, come on. There we go. Get that right there. And tuck that down there. Spin this. Spin this. And tuck these in right there, so that's nice and secure. Come down here. Oh, this is going to be a tough thing. Here, I'll use a little sword to pull this out. These are heavy ratchets, much like on Dead End, and I don't have the fingernails to be able to pull those out, but there we go. And here we have Streetwise, actually, well, all discombobulated there at the shoulder, but there you have him in his robot form. And in robot mode, I'm just as impressed with Streetwise as I was in his vehicle mode. Now, obviously, since they do share the same mold, the biggest difference is going to be a color, but even here in robot mode, a lot of the panels are different. Obviously, the head's much different. The chest piece is different. The only parts that I really am seeing, I mean, even underneath the chest, on the outside of the combiner port, that's actually different as well. The only thing that I really see that's the same would be the crotch piece here, and then his thighs. Yeah, those are the same. The hands are the same. But beyond that, as far as I can tell, everything on him is different. So I'm just absolutely amazed that basically utilizing the exact same figure, they were able to give us a completely different figure. I mean, that's really mind-boggling. I mean, the general rule of thumb is if you're able to use one figure and reuse it for another, that's a really good thing, but it's like they would have had to have made two completely different molds almost, with as different as they are. Now, for a G1 comparison, here's the G1 figure. Again, huge difference, but you see a lot of similarities. Like I said, in terms of the color, the heads are very similar looking. Beyond that, though, that's basically about it. Well, you do have like this top section here, which is his window. You kind of have that there. You got the black down here. You got some black down there. So it's similar. he's really very, very cool. I love the head sculpt on there. There's no light piping or anything, but the head sculpt just nails it. The gun looks great with them. Articulation wise, the head is on a bit of a ball joint, so you do get a little pivot side to side, but it's not a heck of a lot. The shoulders here are on ball joints, so you get a nice full range of motion with those. The upper part of the bicep, I guess, here is on a swivel. You got a hinge here for the elbow. I guess you could say that the wrists are hinged, so there's some wrist articulation. Come down here to the waist. That does swivel all the way around, obviously, because that's going to help him in his arm mode. The hips move forward and back on ball joints. You got swivels right here for the upper part of the thigh, and and then he's hinged here at the knee as well. So all the articulation that Dead End had is recreated here, and I mean, the guy just has a cool look to him. I'm blown away by how great this guy is, and it's so much more of an enjoyment when they're able to reuse the figure, and it's still fun on the new figure as well. So going to his arm mode, you want to detach this. You're going to put this back up here, just kind of get that out of the way. This is going to rotate out. You're going to tuck these hands down. Now the arm, I mean, this, much like a Dead End, how you choose to configure this is your personal preference. I mean, I really do kind of twist and distort this all over the place, just kind of doing whatever I want. Come around here, this section rotates down and around. You take this, connect these two pieces just like that. You're going to rotate this. You got the elbow there, and then you have the hand, or what can also be the hand, and you're going to peg that in just like that. And there's his arm. It is very much like Dead End's. That doesn't change much, and it doesn't matter where you put it. You can put him on the right side, put him on the left side. Like I said, I prefer to use him as a leg, so it really doesn't matter what arm, I guess. He's a leg for me, so slotting that down there. That's what you have though for his arm. You see that, I mean, this, depending on how you configure this, oh, I actually detached this section here. This can be a bit of a problematic rotation just because of all the various junk that's up here. But like I said, I don't use him as an arm, so that's just how he looks. I really don't care for it, but I gotta show you guys it. I mean, that's just the way it is. So going back to his robot mode again, you split this, rotate that back around, tuck that down, bring that around. I'm not going to bring his hands out because I'm just going to go back into his vehicle mode, but getting all this angled, flop that all the way down, bring this down, tab that into place, and there you have them. That's basically it. It really is a very impressive figure. Oh, well, you got to rotate this back up around. I'm really blown away, especially since I just took a look at the RID, Bumblebee, and Drift, and those basically share the same design as well, and I just wasn't all that impressed with Drift. Streetwise here it just is so incredibly well done. I just absolutely love this guy. Now, going back to his car mode, we're going to straighten all this out. If you didn't have the hands, you'd go ahead and tuck the hands in there, but it's easy for me to not do that. We're going to slot these down just like that, lift this, bring this forward, and then bring this down and cover the front section just like that. Take this, fold that down like that. Go ahead and rotate his waist around. You could have done that anytime. Spread this out, spread this out, tuck this up and around. Same on this side. Then you bring the two halves together, give that a nice little squeeze, and then you just take these and collapse these underneath. And there you have Streetwise back in his police car mode. I mean, I really don't know how much more I can gush about this guy. Vehicle mode looks really very good. As I said, almost every single panel on here is completely different. The transformation is obviously exactly the same. I do enjoy the transformation, so that doesn't change much. And then robot mode, again, almost everything is exactly. The only thing that I could see that were the same were his hands, the crotch section, and his thighs. That's it. They really did a terrific job with this. As for the combiner, for me, like I said, he's going to be a leg. That's just a personal preference kind of thing, but you can see Scramble City-wise, he can be an arm, he can be a leg, he can be on Hotspot, he could be on Menasor, he could be on Superion, whatever you wanted to do. That whole Combiner War and Scramble City aspect just really is being extremely well implemented here by Hasbro. Now, Streetwise, as well as the rest of Wave 3, will slowly be hitting retail fairly soon. So good luck and happy hunting. Or as always, there's Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can pick this guy up and add him to your collection. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that you can keep in touch with me by liking my Facebook page at facebook.com/TeamBotimus and by following me over on Twitter at twitter.com/Optibotimus. Also, I'd encourage you to check out my website at OptibotimusReviews.com. where you can see all my videos from the previous week, see what I have coming up for future release, and also get your very own Optibotimus t-shirt. And be sure to check out Sabertron.com for all of your Transformer news as well as photo galleries on this and other Transformer figures. And finally, I'd also really appreciate it, guys, that if you like this review, don't forget to please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.
Autobots, transform and roll out. Class dismissed.